Hey everyone, so we hit our goal of 1,000 subscribers, and to pick the winner we are on this random selector website where we post the link of our video, we click a button, and then it randomly chooses somebody that's going to get a set of toe plates, a hoodie, a hat, some stickers, and basically whatever we have to give away. Okay, so I paste the link here, click this button, it's computing, I scroll down, hit start, and here we go. Samuel Gibbon. If that's how you say it, congratulations, you won our set of toe plates, hoodie, hat, stickers, and anything else that we can fit in the box we're gonna give you.
What's up guys, my name is Chris. I work at FDF here and I'm the guy that assembles pretty much every kit around here. I get help from a guy named Ethan. Today we'll just show you from the point A to point, well pretty much until it goes out, how to assemble a kit. We're gonna take for purpose today just an S14 kit because personally I like to assemble S14 kits. So for the video we'll do that today, and a little thing I have to say is that I'm French, so my English is not going to be the greatest compared to everybody else in the channel. So yeah, let's try to make it work. So over there we have all our stuff we get back from Powder Coat. We get our stuff all local, well, Powder Coated in the house now from Josiah's dad actually. So he does everything just a shop next door. He brings everything back in the gray bins over there. So I'll just go and pick up a couple parts so we can assemble our S14 kit right on my table here. Here there's a couple of kits we got. There's my lowers and stuff right here. I have a couple of parts already in the bin over there just for the purpose of video. I wanted to show you where we get our parts and stuff. So right here I'll grab my S14 knuckle, and then I had my lower that I shoved it right here 2 seconds ago. My lower and my knuckle, and then we'll just go back on my table and get the rest of the stuff. In my tote right here, the other lower control arm, that goes right here. The knuckle, you have the S14 spindle on this one. Little difference, S14, S13. We have the tension arms, both tension arms. They're the same, both sides, interchangeable, which is pretty cool. And then from there, we got the main parts of the body of the kit itself. In the tote, I had my 11.5 inch tie rods that we include in the kit. And then I'll have to go and get my offset rack spacers, my Heim joints, my hardware, and everything pretty much to get it fully assembled, ready to ship out. And yeah, let's go and get some Heim joints and stuff. So here is our stack of Heim joints. There's a couple. We have some right-hand Heim, left-hand Heim. We have some 3/4, some 5/8, both of them. I'm gonna mainly use on this kit, we have, if I'm not mistaken, 6 right-hand 3/4 Heim joints. I'm gonna have 2 left-hand 5/8 and 2 right-hand 5/8 for the tie rod setup. We're lucky enough that my friend Rob over there, the guy that operates our water jet machine, in his downtime he puts all the jam nuts on, so that's pretty cool. It helps us out a lot just to go through the day and make everything a bit faster. So you have all our Heim joints pretty much ready to go, and the arms. So right now I'm just gonna prep the arms and the knuckles. So here, once they get back from Powder Coat, what we have to do to every single hole and every single bung in the kit is that we have to chase the threads. So that's how you say it, I guess, I think. Clean up the bungs, clean up the threads so you guys can have a nice experience of putting those Heim joints in the lower. Here sometimes we'll have a bit of excess Powder Coat, so we'll just have to clear the holes out, make sure everything just goes in properly and it's not a hassle if you ever break out the track or assembling your kit at home. We like to make our stuff, and we like them to be easy to install, so we make it as easy as possible to, when it gets to the client, to be installing their cars and stuff. So we'll just start by removing my tape. That takes me about a good 2 minutes to remove, just because it's annoying tape and it's made for Powder Coat. It's high heat resistant, so we'll just start off with that. Usually I use an X-Acto knife, a little slit right here, and then I'll try not to cut myself, which I'm pretty good at it. So from here normally never works, so I'll just pull it and try it, because I don't want to put too much pressure and leave a big scratch on the spindle itself. Lucky enough, I had one of the 2 already done, so that's one of the 2 knuckles already ready to be prepared and put the bolts on and all the hardware to be done. All right, so now that we have all our heim joints on my table, we're ready to get the kit prepared and all the bungs cleaned up so everything threads in properly. The only thing I'm missing here is going to be my ackerman plates for adjustability that we provide with the kits, +2, -2, and 0 ackermans that are just right here next to the guy that's filming me right now. So we'll have to just go here right quick. And right here we take 4 of the +2, -2 ackerman. And then we're gonna take the 0 ackerman, which are the pre-installed ones I'm gonna install on the kit right now. So to install those, what we do is we take some stainless quarter little bolts, button heads. They're really nice, they don't rust. So from the bolts here with the ackerman plate, it goes little holes right here, just line them up. They're a bit hard to go in those plates, they're very tight, so you just gotta give them a little push. So you put this one like here at the bottom. More clearance for the heim joints to go in here, having the button head towards the bottom. Same for this one. And I'm gonna grab my little nuts, nylock nuts. The little nuts just go on those ackerman plates, and that's something easy that you guys could do at the track pretty much. Just change it up and see, it's pretty much a driver preference, to be honest. Personally, I like to drive 0. I think Josiah does drive 0. If you guys wanna know, there's a YouTube video about his pro car on our YouTube channel. So from there we have our space to put it's going to be towards the knuckle, so it's going to be a left hand heim joint. So we're going to pick up our left hand heim joint. This one's going to go right here in the knuckle. So from there we're going to pick up 2 spacers, misalignment spacers. You have our 5/8 spacers right here, 2 of them right here. Pick them up, though that should just slide in perfectly in here, which it does. And from here we just need a 1/2-inch bolt with a nut and 2 M12 washers, which I select M12 washers so that they are just a little smaller than a 1/2 inch, so they fit in between those 2 nuts. So it makes it nice, all flush, it doesn't look bulky and stuff. So I'm just gonna pick up my 1/2 inch, 3.5 bolt right here. I'm gonna have 1 of those, 1 of the 1/2 inch nylocks, and then I'm gonna have those M12 washers right here. And those should go and hold that pretty much tie rod heim joint that's towards the knuckle. So we start with just putting that one on it. Put it on. You never tied everything together. We just put it pretty much hand tight so you guys could pretty much just do whatever you want. It's just for shipping purpose. Looks nicer when you guys get it, and the way we fold it inside the knuckle when we wrap it, it just helps it out to be safer once it's shipped. So we'll just go on to pretty much getting the lower control arms ready. Now that you get the point of the knuckle, so for the lower control arm, it's the same with the other heim joint. I'll show you later on when we're done with the full assembly of the lower control arms. So now that we have our knuckles pretty much assembled for the tie rod, we'll just go ahead and assemble my lower control arm, which is pretty simple. The only thing you really have to do is clean those threads like I said, and then you have to tap this little hole to put the bump stop for, I mean, you need a bump stop or an angle kit. If not, it's not a good angle kit. I mean, so this one should be good. It should be pretty good. I'll just show you. Put in the vise right here, just to protect it. I mean, our powder coat is pretty tough, so you don't need to be super careful. It kind of doesn't really scratch or nothing. Now that it's viced in securely, I'm just gonna take my little tap. So now that we have it viced in securely and safe with a little cloth to protect it, I'm just gonna tap this little hole right here. It's pretty easy. It just centers itself, to be honest. I mean, I think I've done so far a couple. Oh, I'm going all crooked right now. Don't do that, Chris. All right, there you go. Just start it in. And then once I know I'm straight going that way, I could just on myself up like this. And that's just a little hole. And I had no resistance at all. It pretty much just taps itself, to be honest. And that's one of the other processes that we have to go through every single arm. So every time you buy a kit, we have to do that to every single arm that we have to get them ready for you guys. And I pretty much have to go through a headache every day because of those people making noise over there. So now that we've done my bump stop threads, I just have to clear my bungs or my little holes to put my bigger heim joints for the lower control arm. So we'll just go with this one. So the reason why we do that mainly is because you see the amount of welding that goes all over around it. So all the heat that goes through that just warps all the threads and stuff. It makes it very hard to thread in your heim joints and stuff. So we just make them clear, chase them up, made them all nice, so once you get your kit, it's easier pretty much to put your heim joint in. So it's sometimes you don't actually need to clean them, so it really depends. We just do it to every single arm to make sure that you guys don't get an arm that you can't thread in your heim joint pretty much. Now that everything's done, I'm just gonna put my bump stop in. Little bump stop that we put just there. It's a little nice. One sec. Bolts are right here. 3/8/16 button head. So from there, I'll just put this little nut on it. Put that one in my freshly tapped little bump stop hole. There you go. All right, now that I know that those are clear and all nice to be shipped out, I'm able to install my second heim joint in my lower. It's gonna be my 3/4, it's gonna be my lower control arm, pretty much heim joint. It's gonna use same principle, same bolt, same nut, different washers. Gonna put some nice 1/2" zinc plated washers. And then I'm gonna put my 3/4 with some misalignment spacers that we have right here. 2 nice misalignment spacers. Put them in there. It should fit right through. And then that should fit right there, like that. So let me just go and get the 1/2" bolt and nut. And then from there we have everything just to put the heim joint in the knuckle pretty much. Good. Now we have pretty much one complete knuckle. It's pretty simple, but that would be good to send to a client. So after this is done, the only thing we have to do pretty much would be to copy paste on the other side for sure. I'm just gonna go on to show you guys what I do with the lower control arm and the tension arm once I send them to the client. So what I do is I pre-assemble it, kind of. I put the first hole in. So what do we have on the lower is that we have an S13 hole and an S14 hole for different length purpose. This one is for S14, so I'm gonna line it up and put it in an S14 hole so that the client doesn't have to do anything with that and can't really mess it up in that part. So I'm just gonna line it up right here, and it's easy when the guy just wants to put it up, it just goes right up here and lines up with those 2 holes right here. But I send it for purpose again of shipping. I fold it right here, put a bit of foam in the middle, just put it both through here and both through there, 2 little 1/2", and from there that's your lower control arm assembly. The only thing I need to add is one heim joint here that goes towards the subframe of the car, and that's it. So now we have all my hardware for my lower. I'm just gonna put them in, pretty much just show you how I do it. Little 1/2" bolt, goes right here, 1/2", same thing, right here, flip on the side, put the 2 washers, 2 nuts on it. And from there, that's your lower control arm assembly for an S chassis S14. Like I said, the only thing I'm gonna add is a heim joint here. And usually, some people will put some heim joint in. I know that Ethan, the other shipper, does put that heim joint in this lower. I don't personally, just for size. It's easier to wrap up. I put it in a little separate little bag that I have right here. So I put everything in a bag like this. That doesn't go, and it's pretty much the only heim joint in the box that's not already screwed into an arm, so it's pretty easy to determine where it goes. All right, so we're just gonna put my heim joint in for the lower control arm. This one goes towards the subframe. Should screw in just perfectly because we did just clean this bung right here, and it pretty much just does screw in pretty much just perfectly, so it's good. And then we need another right hand heim joint for this lower control arm, which is going to be the complete assembly. So right hand heim joint again just for the tension arm. From there we need our spacers to be able to pretty much attach it to the car, right? So right here we have all our spacers. I showed you the 5/8, the 3/4, but at the bottom here we have our 240SX lower control arm spacers, 240SX tension arm spacers, and we have our normal spacers that go on the opposite side of those big spacers, and they go on the tension arm and the lower. So I'll just pick 2 of those up, one that's for the lower control arm and one that's for the tension arm. There's a little length difference. Tension arm is a bit longer than the lower control arm, so that's easier to do. This heim joint goes on the tension arm, one of this. Lower control arm, one of this. I'm just gonna put them on. That. On, that. And that should be pretty much ready to ship, full assemble of a side of a car without the tie rod and the top plate as if it was to install in the car pretty much. now that I have the lowers assembled for you guys in front of the camera, I'm just gonna do it real quick for the sake of time. I'm pretty sure you guys are tired of looking at me assembling the kit. So I'm just gonna do it real quick in the time lapse that my buddy is just gonna film real quick. So let's go at it. Now we're at the point where I have my 2 remaining little heim joints left. So those will be for my offset rack spacers. So those will attach to your tie rods and go all the way to your knuckle. It makes that if your rack is not relocated, it helps your pretty much you're not having no bind, and pretty much while Josiah almost trips on that box right there. It helps out a lot for your feeling of your steering while you hit full lock, going full lock to full lock. So let's just go over there and pick up the 2 offset rack spacers. Those are 2 offset rack spacers. I'll need those right here. Those 2 heim joints will go in here. And for this to attach to your car, we'll need the 2 rack bolts. So the rack bolts should be right behind you here. So M16 by 1. Okay, 2 of them, I'm having a hard time. All right, there you go. So I have those 2. Remove them from their little baggy bag. Little bubble wrap. There you go. Put them in. Should just fit perfectly in there. That one right here. Now we need to attach our heim joint inside the offset rack spacer. So what we need, and then again, 2 little misalignment spacers. So what we have here, again, next to 5/8 3/4, we have a shackle. We need 4 of those. We have 4 of those. Little stainless misalignment spacers. They just fit perfectly in there. They just slide in. Then we just need a small little bolt and a slim nut for this. The purpose of this is just for clearance. In general, we don't want a big bolt sticking out the bottom here. And for like the 350Z, for example, it goes through the compression arm. So it's a clearance issue pretty much. So we have a small little bolt and a slim bolt that goes at the bottom. You know, that should just go right through here. Go through just a tiny bit there. We have our slim nut, which is a nylock nut too at the same time. And that should just go right there. So from there we have our first offset rack spacer, which is the same for the second one. Pretty much it takes 0.2 seconds to assemble. It's really not a hard thing to assemble at the track or whatever. If you break one or whatever, just to change one. Now you have your tie rod set up. You start from your left hand heim joint here. You go through one end of the tie rod, and you go all the way to here. That will attach to your right hand heim joint. That goes all the way to your rack with this nice little rack bolt. So from there you have your steering attached to your knuckle. And yeah, the only thing we're missing pretty much now, if I'm not mistaken, will be the top plates, the caster plates. Yeah! I'm far away, you can still hear me. And I appear, hello. All right, so we got our 2 nice aluminum FDF top plate. That just goes on the top of the coilover, your coilover that you have on your car already. So from there, what I usually do, I like to place my stuff like that so I'm sure I'm not missing anything. So I start from the frame of the car and go towards the knuckle to be sure I have everything. So I start from subframe, knuckle of the car, those 2 right-hand heim joints here that connect. And then from here I have the lower control arm attached. So I need a tension arm now. A tension arm is attached to my lower control arm and has those 2 heim joints here that go towards the frame again of the car. So the setup of the full lower control arm should be complete right here. have my bump stops, everything should be good. So now we're going to the tie rod, which I already did. I already looked up. I'm gonna make sure I have everything. So I have my 2 left hand heim joint on my knuckle. I have my 2 tie rods. I have my 2 right hand heim joints on my offset rack spacers, and I have my 2 rack bolts to attach everything together pretty much, and then you have your angle kit. 2 top plates, a bit more adjustability with your +2 -2 ackerman plates, and that is your full Mantis kit for an S14. It takes about from 30 minutes to an hour to assemble, depending on how hard the threads are, how much I have to do for prepping, but it's an average from 30 to an hour depending on the kit. And that is assembling without wrapping it up, and that's where we're going to now. All right, so now we just need a box to put my kit in. So we're just gonna put an 18 by 1212 is the one I use for the S chassis with spindles. Just a bit more space. Put a bit more foam, less destruction, a bit more safety. So that's our boxes. There you go. Let's just go back to the table. All right, so my box right there, I'm just gonna quickly assemble the bottom of it with my favorite tool, this thing. Yeah, so once you want to use one of those, use it with caution, all right? Long story.
Why, Chris? Why?
I don't know. This thing on there is because of those little blades right there. If you're not looking at what you're doing and you're just talking to your buddy and you're taping a box, stuff can end up badly. So if you're just even moving your friend, be sure that this thumb is not there when you're cutting, all right? So let's start up with wrapping. So what I do is I'm gonna tie wrap these spacers onto those heim joints, making sure that don't go loose in your box and you lose them. So I'm just gonna take one of those right here, put it in there. I'm just gonna do one arm at a time. So from there, I wanna protect these 2 parts from hitting each other, the tension arm and the lower control arm. So we'll just pick one foam up. I usually split them in half because I don't need that much. You fold that one in half, fold it in 3, put it in the middle, right there. And then from here, what I do is I just put one layer, kind of wrapping it up, make sure that it won't move and hit each other in the package when it's all wrapped up. So from there, we're ready to wrap up the lower control arm. Usually on the lower control arm, I'm gonna put 4 layers of, you have those squares pretty much. There you go. You're gonna wrap it up in there, put it in the second one, fold it over, and just roll it inside. And then from there, you have your nice little wrapped up lower control arm right here. That's one end. There you go. Wrap it up. And that's your lower control arm that shouldn't have any problem being in the box. That was in the way, but it shouldn't be any problem being in the box and being next to other metal parts, even though we do add more foam in the box to be sure that the box itself is very sturdy and doesn't have anything moving inside, because we know that these stuff go up conveyor belts and they do weigh from 30 pounds to 90 pounds. So if something 90 pounds go down, it just starts going down their conveyor belts. That's why I like to use a lot of foam. It takes it a bit longer to do, but it makes it at least almost out of time. I'd say 99.9 out of time, the client will get the kit perfectly safe and not a single scratch on it. It will still happen that 1 out of a million time that FedEx driver is going to play football with it, but that is part of the shipping business, I guess. From there, it's the same principle for the lower control arm. Wrap up those 2 heim joints to make sure that those threads don't get dinked. I'm gonna wrap up this spindle right here with a sheet to make sure that those threads don't get dinked. And after that, I'm gonna do the same with this. Wrap it up in 4. Those go in baggies. Those little heim joints goes in baggies. And from the baggies again, I wrap them up in more wrapped foam. And then after that, when everything is wrapped in thick foam, I'm able to put a layer of foam at the bottom of the box and put all the stuff on top of it. And then we have inflatable foam Instapacks that we just pop open inside and makes everything very firm and doesn't really move inside the box. So we'll cut to that. I won't show you the full time, but I'll just show you real quick of what I'm doing right here. So now that everything's wrapped up finally on foam and thick foam, we have everything protected properly. We're gonna take our 18 by 12 that we had. Let's open it up. Put my small layer of foam at the bottom in case the Instapack doesn't work properly, right? That Instapack is a thing that we inflate. So we'll just go and grab 2 Instapacks right there. Those are fun. Kind of pop them open and kind of mix up the chemical products inside of this. And make sure how I want it set up. So it's gonna be like that. I'm gonna start by putting my 2 lowers like this in the box. So I'm gonna set myself up with the 2 lowers like this, real quick. Make sure everything's set up properly. And then from there, I'm gonna pop it up, squeeze it about for 10 times, and then put it at the bottom of the box, mixing it up. It's getting a bit hot. Should put it at the bottom, right here. Go here. This, and now it should just inflate with foam pretty much. There you go. So now you have a nice bottom layer that if somebody drops the box, it won't get banged up. From there, we need more foam. Yeah, we'll be back on that 1 second. All right, now that we have some foam, I'm just gonna put my layer of foam in between my lowers and whatever I'm gonna put on top of it. It's probably gonna be the 2 knuckles. Let's take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 squares. Put it in the box to again protect any impacts. Tie rod in the middle. Then it's pretty much like playing Tetris. So you fit them up, you wanna leave enough space at the top to be able to inflate your bag. So I still have 2 little things left right here. Have my top plates, then I have my ackerman plates, which that's the only thing I don't really wrap up. I mean, that's not gonna do any damage or anything. And then from there, you have our complete S14 in the box, wrapped up. And now I just need my second Instapack right here. I'm gonna pop that up. Satisfying, it's fun. Close it up. And then just wait for it to pop. Sometimes what happens is that there's too much space in the box. The bag will not fill up all the way, so I'll just compensate with some foam. But yeah, this one's pretty good. Little baggie right here. Take those 2 stickers right here. So you guys will know where it's at. So if you guys want to cut open your box and not cut your stickers, you guys will now know where the stickers are at. I give them 2 little thing of tape. Usually add way more tape than this. I'm gonna do the corners, a full layer, and then I finish it up with the nice little FDF tape just so that you know that you just got your angle kit in the mail. This is pretty much done. We have our S14 kit, fully packaged, ready to go out to our client without getting banged up, unless it goes into a tornado or something that's really something has to happen to it. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I wasn't too boring. I hope you guys can understand my not too great English, and I wasn't speaking too quick. And oh yeah, true. We're on YouTube, eh? So there's like a bell and the subscribe thing down there. You have to click on those, and if you have to, yeah, you know this, yeah. All right, hope you guys have a good day, and I hope you guys enjoy the video. Peace. You see I'm stressing out already. The video is not starting. I'm already stressing out. All right, so.